It's hard for me to determine whether or not a near miss where a brand is getting it, and then the ball just skims by the cup and they miss that birdie. That's a bigger issue, or somebody that just is totally clueless is the bigger issue. And it's hard to determine sometimes, because on one hand, a far miss is, a far miss. Like, you really just screwed it up. A 50 on a test is worse than an 80. That's the one side. The other side of that is, to get all the way there and chug along and just be inches from the pin, get a 99 on the test. That's just a level of frustration that makes me want to continue to grow my hair out just so I can then pull it out. And it's hard. It's hard to go back and forth. So let's talk about a near miss here. And this is a you're doing it wrong. And I'm not sure, though, who's at fault, because it could be at many levels in the stovepipe here. So let's talk about what happened. There's a product out there called Brownie Brittle. If you haven't had it, stop what you're doing after this video and go get some. It's like brownies, but they're crispy and they're like paper thin. They got chocolate chips in them. They got mint. They got salted caramel. They got regular, whatever. I love brownies. I love cookies. I love sweets. So this is like just everything at once. Just absolute overload. It makes me so happy. So it comes up in conversation last week, December 3rd or 4th, and I don't know, somebody's talking about it. I'm like, oh my god, I love Brownie Brittle too, and I'm like 5 years old. And that was it, right? At Brownie Brittle on Twitter. And then the next day, TJ Barnes from the New York Jets, unsurprisingly, makes a comment on Twitter: if I ever do an autograph signing, bring me brownies or red velvet cake. Now, being the brand evangelist that I am, you guys know, and I love something. I love it. So I come back and I was like, done and done. Now, have you ever tried at Brownie Brittle? He says, I have not. Maybe I need to. At Brownie Brittle. So, now here we go. I tweeted to somebody about them with an @ mention. Next day, I tweet to him in context about sweets and brownies with an @ mention. He replies in context, includes them with an @ mention. So clearly, I am at the crux of all things Brownie Brittle for like a 48-hour period, right? The very next day, I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I got this sweet thing, this sweet tooth, this craving. And I said, let me tell you exactly what I said. I'll tell you right now. I said, twice in 2 days, at Brownie Brittle has come up in conversation, and I have none, which is true. I had none. I said, I need a big bag. And that was it. That was 12:10 on December the 5th. They come back at 8:40 a.m., so, not quite 24 hours later, on the 6th, the next day. And they said, browniebrittle.com/shop, #just saying. Now, I get it, right? I want Brownie Brittle. Go get off my ass and get some Brownie Brittle. I get that. But here's the thing. And here's why this is such a near miss, and it makes me so like, this is Brownie Brittle, right? The brand, the verified brand. They make the damn thing. What could it cost them per bag? Who knows? Let's pretend it's $1. I know it's not, but let's pretend it's super expensive at $1. What does shipping cost? $4. Okay. So $5. If I were them, what I would have said is, until you get to the store, here's a bag to get you through. DM us your address. Well, what I would have done is I would have Googled me and gotten my address and would have showed up on my doorstep as a surprise with a handwritten note that said, we didn't want you to go another day without it, so here's some. That's what I would have. All the way. Oh my God. At a minimum, until you get to the store, here's a bag on us. What's your favorite flavor? Give us your address. Or, here's one of each. Now you've had them all. Spend $15, $20, whatever. Which would have been way less than that for them. But at a minimum, until you get to the store, here's a bag of your favorite flavor on us. And then, To go one step, they probably could have gone to TJ Barnes, also a verified Twitter account, NFL player. And one for you, since we know you've never had it. Let's pretend, right, like we said, that it's $1 and $4 to ship. 2 people, $10. For 10 whole dollars, they could have gotten 2 bags of Brownie Brittle out to 2 people who were talking about them. They would have, 6,000 combined followers between me and TJ Barnes, and they would have done the right thing, and they would have gotten some crazy exposure, because I'm already talking about Brownie Brittle, right? I can't even say that 5 times. It's Brownie Brittle, Brownie Brittle, Brownie. What would I have done? I would have posted and I would have screamed, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! And here I am with crumbs in my beard, and here I am, Cookie Monster, crumbs flying all over the place, shoving cooked Brownie Brittle in my face, like an absolute lunatic, and he's a freak, like a maniac." Can you imagine? You know me. I would have gone berserk for them. At the cost of what is realistically probably a couple of dollars, not even, the exaggerated, inflated amount that I said. Yes, I'm capable of buying my own Brownie Brittle. I do it more frequently than I care to admit. And I'm not going to stop eating Brownie Brittle. I'm not going to, spite your nose to, I don't know, whatever the hell it is. I'm not going to spite them. I still love Brownie Brittle. I'm not going to penalize my taste buds because they almost got it right. And is it the fault of the community manager that is, in-house or outsourced, that's not empowered to do it? Maybe. Maybe he is empowered and she screwed up. Maybe they've said no free Brownie Brittle no matter how much anybody begs. Maybe they've never thought about it. I mean, I don't know where this process has broken down. So is this you're doing it wrong? Well, yeah, because they did it wrong. Is it their fault? Yeah, because no matter what, you can always think about it ahead of time. But I see this as one of those opportunities where a little bit of effort would have gone a long way. You've got an evangelist, you've got a follower, you've got a loyalist, you've got a guy that loves your product, tweets you, thinks about you, all he wants is your product. One lousy bag would not have broken the bank. It would have made my day, and I wouldn't have shut up about it. So, look, I'll buy my Brownie Brittle, and I may make a sarcastic comment, I may not. But, think about that, right? When you have somebody, when you've got something that somebody really wants, give value, give value, give value. When you're done with that, give some value. And then when that's all over, think about it, and then give some value, and then ask for something back. You know what I mean? It's the way it works. We give a lot, and we make people love us and want us, and then they come to us, rather than, make people beg. So, think about that. Pay it forward before, I guess is what it comes down to. Anyway, that's the story on the Brownie Brittle. It's great you're doing it wrong. It's a great opportunity. It's a learning experience for everybody. And that's it. So I'm going to go eat Oreos because I haven't got to the store and I've got no Brownie Brittle. But I will soon. And maybe I'll bring some to TJ Barnes for the last home game on December 21st. And we'll eat it together and we'll tweet them. That would be a good idea. So, TJ, when you guys do the player walk, stop by and let's have some Brownie Brittle. Maybe we can work that out. Now that would be a fun photo. So we'll see. And until then, just think about these things. Okay? We'll talk soon.